All right, welcome back to QuickBooks Online. We are now going to be looking at Chapter 9, where we're looking at projects and estimates. Okay, so this one's going to be a little quick and easy little section that kind of sums up most of our transactions that we've been doing. So we're going to be taking a look at creating a project, which is a feature that is available on QuickBooks Online Plus subscription. Okay, if you have a previous subscription for the first two, Essentials Start, and then the for those ones, you will not have the projects tab available to you. So you have to have the Plus subscription for you to be able to do the projects and estimates section here. Okay, we're going to take a look at what job costing does and what's the purpose of using estimates. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right into chapter 9, where we talk about what it is like to create and using estimates. So first off, like I've mentioned before, right, job costing is going to be one of those chapters where we're taking a look at how we use job costings, whether it's putting it on our invoices or whether it's putting it on our bills, right? What does job costing do for us? So job costing allows us to create jobs and cost and either send that cost along to our customers. So that's exactly what a job costing does, is it allows us to assign those cost, income, and expenses to our customers. Okay? So for instance, if a customer asks you to buy a custom frame for them, that means they're using you to purchase products and services that are specified and custom made for that for that particular customer, which is where you can go ahead and pass that expense along and have the customer pay for it. Okay? Because it is a custom frame that they requested for you as a special order. So once again, that is the purpose of job costing. And before we can even get started with job costing, we need to set up our job costing settings. So once again, this is where we're going to go ahead and go to our gear icon and go to our account settings, so we can go ahead and ensure that our sections for job costing is set up properly. So in this case, this is going to go into our expenses tab. Okay, and you want to ensure that we got our first one, which is going to be billable expenses. So if I click on here, right, you should be able to see these ones where you're going to be selecting, for instance, to make sure that you have under the expenses tabs, billable expenses, that it is on, the markup price is on, and we're going to set that markup price value as 50%. Okay. Okay, so here we are, expenses tab under billable, right? We do have that that we are going to be marking up our customers, and we already set it up as 50%. And once again, it's going to be an actual amount instead of an actual percentage rate. And so that is actually confirmed, so I can go ahead and save that. Then we want to make sure that we go to our sales section. Okay, our sales section, and ensure that progress invoicing is on. So let's see, progress invoicing, and here it is off, so I need to turn that on. And it's going to say, do you want to update your invoicing? Yes, update it. Okay. And then the last section is going to be an advanced section here. Okay, yes, okay. All right, so let's go back there. I didn't save my settings there, so sales. Progress invoicing. Okay, progress invoicing, save. Oh, nope, I gotta turn it back on. And yes, I want to save this. All right, so now it's on, progress invoicing. And we'll talk about progress invoicing in a few moments here. And then we need to go ahead and go to my advanced settings to go ahead and ensure projects is turned on. So let's see, let's go to projects. Projects right here is turned on. Okay. So now we are ready to go ahead and start creating our very first project. Okay. So when we talk about a project, right? What a project does for us is it allows us to create a project, right? That allows us to build a center where we can focus on one project and be able to invoice in there, create estimates, create bills, create any type of transactions and link it all into one project, right? So for instance, maybe we want to do some kind of marketing project, right? Where it's gonna be like a 3-day, 4-day event, and we're billing one particular customer, right? So in this case, if you're doing some kind of transaction like that, that is where you are going to be building your projects and you're going to be invoicing and billing one customer all in one location. So in this case, that's what projects can do for you, is it can help you manage one project under one account, and you're able to do all of those. So again, it's a little bit of review for everything that we've been learning from up to this point, right? From chapters 4 and chapters 3, right? So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and click on projects here. Okay. Once I click on projects, here you go. It's going to say, hey, you're looking onto working a new project. So go ahead and it says right here, you do not have any projects. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I can go ahead and say, create a new project. Okay. So what am I going to create the new project for? So Miss Veronica Vasquez decided to come up to us and say, hey, I have a project for you. All right. Let's go ahead and do some marketing photo shoots. Okay. So I want headshots and photos for a commercial. Okay. So Veronica Vasquez decides to hire us for a marketing photo shoot. Okay? So that's what I'm going to name this project. It's going to be marketing photos. And we're going to say this is for Veronica Vasquez, and it's going to be scheduled to start on February 15, and it's going to end on March 31st, right? Usually you will have a timeline for your project to be started and when it's going to be completed. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So again, who is our customer? Or what is the project name? The project name is going to be marketing photos. Okay. Who is going to be responsible for this is going to be for Veronica Vasquez. All right. When is the start date? We said February 15. Okay. All the way to March 31st. Okay. March 31st. Okay. And let's see, it's right now in progress, right? Notes, you could say marketing, photo, shoot for commercial. Okay. And we can go ahead and save. So once I save that project, now this is the project profile, right? It allows us to keep track of all the income, all the expenses, all the different types of expenses, bills, and invoices that I can charge for Miss Veronica Vasquez, right? So this is the project center for this particular project for that marketing photos. So again, you're able to do a lot of transactions such as invoices, right? You can record hours, you can record expenses, record bills. So again, you'd be able to do everything here in this one window. So if I click on this new transactions, this is all the different things that you can do for this one project. So instead of having to bill everything through the plus new icon, you could do everything here. But don't worry, we're going to be utilizing versatility, because with the ability of using job costing, you're able to link everything into one profile in an instance. Okay? So let's go ahead, and now that we have the profile already set up, we can go ahead and get started with the marketing photos project by starting out with our very first estimate, right? Because if she's going to ask us to do a project for us, we're going to build her an estimate, right? Now, what is an estimate? An estimate is more or less like a bid, a quote, for instance, if Veronica is looking for options, so for instance, what is the price if I were to do all of this, right? So bid, a quote. And what we're going to do here is we're going to build an estimate for her, because she just wants us to be able to provide for her three indoor photo sessions. And again, we're going to have 2 hours of retouching services, and she wants it to be scheduled for February 28th. Okay? And for the grand total of $10.65. Okay? For the San Jose location, for the store. So again, in this case, once again, this is going to be for Veronica Vasquez, right? For the marketing photo shoot. Okay? So once again, I'm going to go ahead and create the estimate right in the project's window right away. All right, and it's going to be scheduled for February 15, or in this case, we're going to do it as of the day, and we're going to give her a quote, right? And the expiration date is going to be for the 1st of March, okay? So again, this is for, let's go ahead and create the estimate right in the actual project. So again, I can go all the way up here, and it says right here, add a transaction. So let's go ahead and say, or add to project. We're going to build her our first estimate. So right here, right, it's going to pop up that window for you. Now, if I go ahead and add it directly from the project itself, it will tell me, it will fill in all the information for me automatically. Now, if I were to, let's say, were to go ahead and just click that new icon and build the estimate here, all I have to do is just simply put in the name. It's going to be Veronica Vasquez with the colon, and it's going to be for the marketing project. So remember, we want to bill everything into one location. So in this case, I'm not billing Veronica Vasquez specifically for her profile. I'm billing it for her project that she requested of me. So if I were to go to the estimates window here and click from there and create the estimate, again, I would have to put everything in there in regards to linking it to the marketing photos, right? Project. But in this case, if I go directly here into the project, it would automatically link it to it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and build her the estimate. So the best way to build the profile for the project is just do everything directly into the project center. Okay? So there you go. It says right here, Veronica Vasquez marketing photos project. Okay. And this is going to start as of February 15. Okay, February 15. All right. Who is the sales rep? I believe it's Mr. Mike Mizuki. So let's see, Veronica for the marketing photos for the 15. And expiration date is going to be the 1st. For Katie Ropa. Katie Ropa, corporate for services. Okay, so Katie Ropa is going to be responsible for this project. Right? Purchase order number, nothing there. Shipping. So here you go. Estimate. Do we have an estimate number? No estimate number, so you can go ahead and create whatever is there. So I'm going to go ahead and make this estimate number 1. Okay, for the San Jose location. So she's going to be doing this for the San Jose location. Okay. Once again, tag here is going to be corporate. Okay. And the services that she wants to be completed, right? The first one's going to be scheduled for February 28th. February 28th. Okay. And then the service she wants is the indoor session. Okay. And she wants 3 of them to be done. Again, this is a service, so it's non-taxable. And then she wants the photos to be retouched the following day. Okay, so that's going to be for March 1st. Okay, and it's going to be for retouching. And wants me to spend 2 hours for it. Okay, and then above here, I forgot to fill in this right here. The expiration date's going to be for March 1st. Okay. So again, this retouching services is non-taxable. So again, you want to make sure that she gets taxed for that correct amount for the San Jose location. But again, it's going to be 0 for the grand total of $1,065. Okay. Once everything looks good, right? Everything is filled in. Okay. We can go ahead and save and close. Okay, so make sure those are for the store. Right? And once everything looks good, right, we're going to go ahead and invoice. And now remember, this isn't an invoice, sorry, this is an estimate. An estimate is a simple request. This is called a non-posting transaction because there is no real transaction that's going on, right? All we know is that we gave her a quote on the project, right? She did not give me a form of payment. She did not agree, and so on and so forth, right? So an estimate is a simple request, and if she agrees, then she'll go ahead and sign the contract, and we'll either require either some kind of down payment or something in regards, or she's gonna pay us half now or half later, right? Whatever your company policy is, so we can ensure that she is going to follow through with this project, right? With this estimate. So in this case, that is what an estimate does. It's just a simple request. No real transaction is coming along because it's not a guaranteed sale. Okay? it is a potential sale, but we don't know if it is going to go through or not. But because Ms. Veronica Vasquez is just looking for a quote, now that we quoted her, we can, and she says, okay, I accept this 1065, right? We can go ahead and proceed to go ahead and invoice her. So what I can do is, if you go to the estimates, let's check it out, right? I can simply go right here and I can create the invoice directly from the estimate, okay? Or I can simply go to more actions and be able to create an invoice from it, right? So if I can be able to do that, right? So again, what an estimate does is once that customer verifies that, yes, I agree, let's go through with the project, then that's where an invoice can be created, and that's where an accounts receivable gets created. Now, when I click on create invoice, right, this is going to pop up because I have progress invoicing turned on. What is progress invoicing? Progress invoicing allows you to bill your customers multiple times for a single transaction. Meaning, if this person is doing a project, you can send them multiple bills, whether it's based on completion of the project or whether it's based on certain items. Like, for instance, I will pay for the equipment now. I will pay for the service later. Yes, so you can select certain items to be billed, but in this case, you can also do bill or invoice based on a percentage of completion. So again, a lot of constructions, right? They require to get the materials ready. They require to get the building done on a specific time frame. But they can't just work for nothing. They need to be paid, or they need to invoice the customer for the completion of a certain project, right? Maybe they will do it for every single month that they finish a portion of the building. Or they can do 25% now, right? 50% for the materials, and then 25% when upon completion, right? They can do it on a certain percentage of the project in completion. So that's exactly what progress invoicing does, okay? It allows you to invoice your customers based on either or a percentage of completion of the project or whatever service is there, or you can do it based on certain items on a list. Now, in this case, I went ahead and I'm going to go ahead and click on right here. I could do it for the entire amount or for a certain percentage. So in this case, I have 50% already on there, which is invoice. It's already calculated for you. It took the $10,000 or it took the $1,065 and split it in half, which is 50% of the bill. So in this case right here, it tells me right here, it's going to be for $533. And I'm going to go ahead and click create invoice. Okay. So now that I'm creating the invoice, this is what's going to happen, right? It says right here, who are you billing? It's going to be for Veronica Vasquez marketing photos. So once again, you're going to go ahead and fill in your invoice like a regular invoice. The only difference is you're telling how much you're going to invoice the customer for. So you're going to verify that it's for the 15th and that it's for, again, half the services for that $530, should have been $33, $32.50, right? That's exactly half. So in this case, that's what you're going to verify, just so then you can go ahead and save it. So again, date is for the 15th. She has 30 days. It's going to be Katie Ropa. Invoice number. Is there an invoice number on here? No invoice number, so it could be whatever you want it to be. Just ensure that it is going to be for $532.50. Okay? And again, this is 50% of the project. Once everything looks good, again, no sales tax. It's going to be charged for the San Jose location, so make sure that is there. San Jose. So again, it's still going to be for $532.50. Okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Close. So once again, because I converted the estimate into an invoice and it was linked to the Veronica Vasquez marketing photos, boom, it has popped it into my project center right here for the invoice. Now, this invoice is still pending a transaction, meaning you haven't closed out the invoice yet because, or the estimate yet, because you're still pending for it. Okay. So now that I have that, right, I can go ahead and proceed with the next section, which is going to be receiving customer deposits. So now, right, Miss Veronica Vasquez has also asked me, well, for my headshots photo shoots, I want a custom background to be completed, and since I'm going to be needing a commercial to be filmed, how about I go ahead and ask you to create another estimate for the 3 videographers, 3 hours of videography, right? To go ahead and be scheduled to complete for my commercial, right? So in this case, that is what she requested of you, and she said that she was going to make a payment to it. So therefore, I am going to need to do a purchase order for the following situation. So I'm going to need to do a purchase order to order a custom background for the headshot. So maybe she wants a custom background with the company's logo, or maybe she wants the building behind her with her company logo on it. Maybe it's her company building itself. So we're going to go ahead and build her that invoice, but we're going to also go ahead and request a customer payment. So in this case, right, since we're going to go ahead and give her another estimate on that, let's go ahead and collect this customer payment, right? Because we're going to build a second invoice, a second estimate for that for the videographers and that custom frame for the custom background, right? So in this case, here you go. Let's go ahead and how do we receive a customer payment? We need to first verify that we have a account for what's called unearned revenue, okay? What is unearned revenue? Unearned revenue, just like in its title, right? It's revenue you have not earned yet. So this is where a customer pays you in advance for services that you have yet to complete. So in this case, that is exactly what you need to do. You need to create a liability, because if a customer is going to give you money, and that means you promise to owe them services, and when upon completing the services, that's where you're going to go ahead and record that as an actual sale, right? Because you earned it. But right now, a customer is making a payment to you in advance for services you haven't done yet. So therefore, you need to create a liability account for the unearned revenue. And you're going to it's going to be considered an other current liability. So once again, you're going to go ahead and add this in there. Okay, so if your QuickBooks chart of accounts already has this, you can skip this section here. But let's go ahead and verify that my chart of accounts has that or not. Okay. So again, I'm going to go to my dashboard here so I can see my gear icon, chart of accounts, and I'm going to go ahead and verify in my chart of accounts, do I have a customer payment? Or in this case, let me see unearned revenue. In this case, I do not have anything in terms of unearned. Let's see. Oh, wait, no, I have uncategorized assets. So I believe I do not have this. So let's go ahead and create that account. So once again, it's going to be a liability. Okay, so liabilities, and it's going to be under other current liabilities. Okay, which actually, let's see if it's specific. Let's see, let's see, we don't have it. So it's just going to be under current liabilities. Okay, customer prepayments right here. We do have a customer prepayments. Okay, and right, we're gonna call this customer payments, customer prepayments, whatever it is that you have. So a down payment from customers for future goods and services. So here you have customer prepayments, which is an other current liability, and you're going to call this customer payments. Okay, it could be referred as prepayments, but in this case, I have it as customer payments. All right. In this case, actually, I think let's see. Let me exit that again. Let's do customer prepayment. Because if I already have that account already there, right here, customer prepayment as an other current liability, I already have it in my chart of accounts. So I don't need to create another account for the same exact thing, right? So I already have a customer prepayment account. Okay, so I don't need anything else. So let me go ahead and exit out of this. So after I have the prepayment accounts, there you go, customer prepayment, skip this. I can go ahead and create my service item for that customer prepayment. So I can go ahead and accept the payment from my customer. So I need to go to my products and services and create a new service. Okay, so I go ahead and click here. I'm going to create a new service, and then I'm going to call this customer payments. Okay, it could be customer prepayment. In this case, I'm just going to put customer payments. You could put customer down payment, customer deposit, whichever way that you want to refer this to. In this case, customer payment is good enough. Class, right, will belong to, it will depend, right? So in this case, I'll put overhead. And is, okay, so then we're going to say down payment from customers for future goods or services. Okay. Is there a price point on here? No, because again, your customer can pay you whatever the amount is. Whether you say, I want 50% down payment, or you want a 25% down payment, or you want a flat $100 rate, or a flat $100 fee deposit, you can go ahead and you can, yeah. And you're going to put this under that account that you have there for the customer payment. So customer prepayments. Okay. Once everything looks good, you want to make sure that it is non-taxable. Because again, you can't tax on a total amount that a customer is going to give you, right? So you want to make sure that you edit this and select that is non-taxable. Okay, click done. and click Save. So now you have a customer payment service. Okay, there you go. So now let's see what the next step is that now we need to go ahead and record the customer payment. Okay, so let's go ahead and record the payment. So we're going to go ahead and enter in a sales receipt for the customer payment. Now in this case, let's see. You can go to plus new and enter in the project name, or let's see if you could be able to do it in the projects itself. Let's go to projects. Right, now this is the project's homepage, so if you have multiple projects going on, you can go ahead and select that project. So right here we got the marketing photos project, and here I'm going to go ahead and click on this section here. We got receive payments, expensive bill, and purchase order. So in this case, we don't have a sales receipt, but you do have a receive payments. Now again, that's for your invoices. So we're going to go to the plus new icon, and we're going to record a sales receipt. Okay. Now here you go. Who are we going to be collecting this customer payment from? Make sure you put Veronica, right? But notice this, we got Veronica at regular Veronica, and then you have the marketing projects. Make sure you do confirm that it is for the Veronica Vasquez marketing project, right? Because she's making a down payment for equipment that she wants, and she also is requesting for the videographers to film her commercial. So in this case, let's see, when's the date that we, okay, so in this case, on the 18th, right, Mike Mizuki's going to be her, her sales rep, okay? She's going to use her credit card to pay for the deposit, okay? And it's going to be sales receipt number 1075 for the San Jose location. So once again, the 18th of February, sales rep is going to be Mike Mizuki. Okay. Purchase order number, there isn't one, but sales receipt's going to be 1075. Location is San Jose. Tags, once again, this is going to be for corporate. Okay, and let's see what we're going to record. We're going to record that she's making a payment via credit card, and it's going to be to deposit, it's payments to deposit, and this is what we're going to put in here. We're going to put in her customer prepayment, okay, for the quantity, for the rate of the $500, right? And it's non-taxable, so once again, it is going to be, we're going to make sure it's the San Jose location, that she's going to give me a customer deposit for $500. Okay, so this one's class is going to be store total for $500. And then you could put in the memo that this is a down payment for the, okay, so you can say down payment for materials and supplies for head shots and for headshots for commercial. Okay, and there we go, for $500. And you can go ahead and click Save and Close. So again, if I go to this here, it says right here that I have an income of $532.50. And I got a profit here. So let's take a look at my transaction. So here you go. I have the sales receipt recorded. So once again, because I put in the name box or the vendor or the customer that I'm going to be billing, I make sure that it was for the marketing photos. If it was just Veronica Vasquez, this would not appear on the project. Okay? So there you go. I got the down payment for that. So next, I'm going to go ahead and create a two-sided item, so then I can go ahead and bill her for the videographers and the custom background. Okay, so in this case, because she's wanting a specific background for her, I need to create a two-sided item. Now, a two-sided item, right? The purpose of creating a two-sided item is to keep track of both income and expenses, right? So you're linking this one item to an income and an expense. So in this case, right, a custom frame is going to make the ability for me to go ahead and collect income from it, at the same time as also counting it as linking it to another account, which is in the expense account for the cost of goods sold. So in this case, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to be creating the custom background item here. So this is going to be an actual non-inventory item, because this one, once again, is something that we don't sell often. However, you do need to make sure that you do check that you do have a vendor that's associated to this item here. So down below, I'll show you exactly what I mean. So let's go ahead and create this non-inventory item. Okay, so I'm going to go back up to my gear icon and go to my products and services, so I can create that custom background, so I can go ahead and make a purchase order, and then go ahead and be able to, so again, you do a non-inventory and be able to bill her for that custom background. So there you go, I clicked in non-inventory. What we're going to do here is we're going to say this is a custom background, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and say this is, depending where, I'm going to go ahead and say store, okay? And here you go. In this case, we won't know what the actual price of the custom background is. So I'm going to go ahead and say custom background for photo shoot. Okay, because we don't know. It could be, Veronica might not be the only person that wants to request a custom background. Okay, so in this case, we won't know the price point of the custom background, but this is definitely a sales of product income, right? And it's definitely going to be taxable. And here's where it says right here, I purchased this product and services from a vendor. So this is where you click on this, you're going to automatically create a two-sided item, okay? Because you're linking not only an income for selling that custom background, but because you also purchase this item from a specific person. So therefore, you're also going to link the expense account right here. So I'm going to go ahead and say custom background for photo shoot. And I'm going to go ahead and associate a cost to it. So in this case, do we know what that cost is? No, because again, we need to request the vendor for the price on that custom background, right? Because it depends on how big they want the background to be. It depends on what they want on the background, right? If it's a preset one that they have, then that would, wouldn't require them to do anything, but maybe if they want their company logo on that background, then they're going to need to upload a photo, and that they might charge for that. So in this case, we won't know what that price point is, but we know for sure that it's going to be a cost of goods sold for supplies and materials, expense account, and we are going to be using Ogaga Photo Supply. Okay. So again, cost is $0, and once again, it says this is for purchases. We can't do that because we want this to be under supplies and materials. So supplies and materials. Okay. And of course, we want this from Ogaga. Okay, Ogaga Photo Supply. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Close. So that's a two-sided item. Usually you are creating an item that's linked to two accounts. Usually it's an income and an expense account. Okay? And that's why inventory items are always going to be two-sided items, because it's linked to 3 accounts, right? It's linked to the income, expense, and asset account. Okay? So now that I created my item, the next thing now I'm going to do is going to create another estimate. I'm going to create an estimate, and from that estimate, I'm going to use a purchase order, or create a purchase order from that estimate. So first, I'm going to go ahead and give her another quote, right, to let her know how much that custom background is going to cost. So in this case, I have to go to Veronica Vasquez for the marketing photos, and once again, it's going to be for the 18th. Okay. So whether I go through the plus new icon, or I go through the projects folder, right? So in this case, I'm just going to go do everything in the projects, because in this case, we know that we can go ahead and process an estimate here. Okay. So I go ahead and click on estimate, right? And once again, it will fill in that for you automatically, and today's date is going to be the 18th of February. Sales rep is going to be Katie Ropa, okay? Expiration date is going to be the 1st of March, and it's going to be for that custom background, quantity of 1. And for now, we're going to quote her as $0, because we have to see what the vendor charges us, right? So in this case, we're going to quote her for $0 for now. Okay, so sales rep is Katie Ropa. And let's see, estimate number 2 for the San Jose location. Again, tags is going to be corporation. Right, and we're going to have the product be the custom background. See, custom background. Okay, quantity of 1. We just don't know what the price point is, so right now, but we do know it's going to be taxable. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do here, and it's going to be charged for the San Jose location. So here I'm building an estimate, because what you could do from an estimate is you can go ahead and process this estimate to go ahead and create a purchase order out of it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, okay? Because that ability is only available in the plus version of subscription. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Close. So then now, if I go to my transactions list, I have 2 estimates. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop down this menu. I'm not going to create an invoice out of it. I am going to, okay, so in this case, I would have to click on the estimate. Okay, and right here it says copy to purchase order. Okay, so if I go ahead and click on to purchase order, it's going to now create a purchase order to Ogaga Supplies, because that's exactly where we're purchasing these custom background from. So we gotta put in Ogaga Supplies. Okay, Ogaga Supplies. Okay, so that's what I did. I went to the estimate, and at the very top of the window allows you to copy the information directly into a purchase order. Okay, so again, I'm gonna go ahead and there you go. Do the purchase order. Okay. All right. To Ogaga Photo Supply for the 18. Tags is going to be corporate, and they're going to charge us for the background for a total of $125. Okay. To the San Jose store. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you tag or you apply this purchase order to Veronica Vasquez marketing photos. So let's go ahead and create that purchase order. So we have it for, once again, the 18. Okay. Okay, for the San Jose location. Okay, it's going to be for corporate, so you basically copy all the information. All you had to do is just edit this information. So such as you wanted the, Veronica wanted the custom background. Okay, one of them for a total of $125. For some reason it said it wasn't taxable, that's okay. So in this case, for $125, customer/project. This is where you need to link Veronica here. Or in this case, you need to link the marketing project here. Okay? So here you go, marketing photos. Okay, for the Veronica Vasquez, and it's for the store for $125 because we're purchasing it from a vendor, so they are not going to charge us for tax. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Close. So now that I have this purchase order, it's going to populate on the projects window. So I have it as my purchase order here. Okay? So what happens is once we've done that, right, we're going to go ahead and utilize the billable expenses window, right? Because what happens is when I receive my items, right, I can go ahead and enter in that bill, and I'm going to go ahead and bill that person along, right? So I'm going to go ahead and create a expense now, whether I do it directly into the photos, the marketing photos center, I can go ahead and enter in an expense. Okay, so here I'm already here. I'm going to go ahead and click on here, and I'm going to go click on expense. Okay, so there you go, right? Expense. Who is the vendor? We're going to say Ogaga Supplies because we're going to go ahead and receive that custom background from Ogaga Supplies. So once I've done that, my right side's going to pop up a window here to say, hey, are you trying to pay for an expense or receive an expense from an existing purchase order? And in this case, yes, we are. So you need to add this purchase order in here, and it's going to automatically fill in most of the information. So it's going to fill in that you are accepting the custom background for the $125. Okay? And what you're going to do here is, since this is an expense to you, right? They're billing you as you're the person who purchased the custom background from. But what you're going to do is, when you assign the person in the customer's job, what you're doing is you're going to send that bill along to Veronica and have her pay for it. Okay? So once again, you're going to pay with your Visa credit card. Okay? And it's going to be for the 20th of February for the San Jose location for the background for $125. You're going to make sure that it's billable, and you're going to mark up it by 50% and send it along to Veronica. Okay? So in this case, you're only paying for $125. And then we're going to send that bill along to Veronica with an upcharge of 50%. Okay? So once again, this is going to come out from your credit card here. So Visa, you're going to pay with your Visa credit card, right? And the date that you receive this item or this expense is going to be on the 20th. Payment method, once again, is your credit card. Okay, reference number, location San Jose, right? This is all filled in, right? Now, the only thing that you want to make sure, that's because this isn't a category, it's a product and service that you purchased. So in this case, there you go, custom background. You wanted one of them for $125. Yes, I'm going to make it billed. And who are you going to bill it to? You're going to bill it to Veronica Vasquez, right? So there you go. It's already to Veronica Vasquez. Your markup is 50%. Okay? Sales amount should be it should be calculated for you what that 50% is. So in this case, it's not filling in. We're going to do for Veronica and store. Okay, so this should automatically calculate so you know how much you're billing Veronica. Okay, so in this case, it should be for whatever 125 times 50% markup is. Okay, so 50%, so you should be entering in the sales amount. Okay, which in this case, it will not let me fill in, so might be a glitch in the system. But as long as you have that there, then you have Veronica Vasquez marketing, right? Make sure that you have Veronica Vasquez marketing photos, right, as assigned. Okay, so that means you're going to make a payment for $125, and I'm going to click Save and Close. Okay, so you've already paid for it, and here, now it's going to be considered a billable expense. Okay, all right, and here it tells you for the total of $187.50. So they marked it up by 50%, so there it is. Okay. So then now that you've done that, we're going to add in a bill for, once again, for 5 videographers. So we're going to bill her for those 5. We're going to receive a bill from Gandhi videographers, okay? And we're going to pass that bill along to Veronica, okay? So here you go. We end up receiving a bill because, let's say, they completed their job, right? They completed it on the 1st of March, okay? And they went ahead and billed you, okay? So that's what you're going to do for 5 hours of videographers, okay, for the San Jose location. So once again, you can either enter in the bill here directly, so you can enter in a bill. Okay. Now, this one is to bill, right? So in this case, I received a bill from Gandhi Videos. So here's Gandhi Video LLC, right? You received this bill on March 1st, okay? All right, reference number for the San Jose location. Once again, this is going to be for corporate. Okay, and what did you receive a bill for? In this case, you could put the service date was, okay, it's not a category, so it's a product and service. So again, the product and service was the videographer, so videographers, for the total of 5 of them, okay? So it cost you $75, but we charge Veronica way more than that. And we're going to go ahead and make sure it's billable for, again, 50%, and the customer, you're going to put here, right here, marketing photos. So Veronica is already selected for the marketing photos. Store, so you are subject to only pay $375. She's going to be subjected to pay more. Okay? So that's what you want to ensure, that you are being billed. So in this case, videographers, 5 of them should give you a total of $750. Right? Because let's see, $5 at 75 cents. So in this case, they probably could have upcharged you, right, for the total amount of $750, because in this case, maybe they upcharged you because they're doing a so in this case, what is that, upcharging to $125? No, $150. Okay. So there you go, $750. So in this case, it was $150 per videographer. Okay. All right. So you want to make sure everything looks good. It's store. You're going to charge Velasquez a 50% charge up. So again, they're going to be paying $1,025. Okay. Everything looks good, so I can go ahead and save and close. So once again, I am going to send the bill along to Miss Veronica Vasquez for that project. Okay. So once you have done and completed everything that you need to complete for Miss Veronica Vasquez, you're going to go ahead and tally up and bill her for the remaining of the project, and it's going to be for the 15th of March, okay? So you're going to go ahead and rack up everything, and you're going to tally up the totals. So first thing you're going to do here is you're going to go ahead and create the other half of the progress invoicing. So I'm going to go back to my original estimate here, right? For that $1,065, and I'm going to go ahead and create an invoice, okay? And what you're going to do here is you're going to identify that you're going to have her pay for the rest of the 50% of the original estimate, right? When I go ahead and do that, what's going to happen is here's my invoice, and I'm going to have my drawer pop up on the right side, because not only am I going to bill her for the remaining amount of the project, I'm going to go ahead and tack on all the expenses that Miss Veronica has requested for this project, right? So I'm going to go ahead and verify that. I'm going to add in let's see. I'm going to add in the, okay, I'm going to add in the expense for the custom background. I'm going to add in the videographers, and I'm going to also add in her customer payment. So first one we have here, right? Let's see. I'm not going to add her estimate. I'm going to do a billable expense, okay, for the $187. So that's the custom background, okay. I'm going to also add in the billable expenses for the videographers, okay. And then and then I'm going to add in an extra line item here to go ahead and also apply that customer payment. So right here, line number 7, I'm going to go ahead and add in the customer payment. Okay, customer payment. And I'm going to go ahead and put in negative $500. So this customer payment can also be taken out from this account and be paid towards the bill. So again, the videographers are going to be non-taxable. Okay, so I got to untax that. The 50% markup is not going to be taxable, so you make sure you uncheck that. The custom background is supposed to be taxable, but let's take a look at what the total is, and we're going to make sure that this is this San Jose tax. Okay, so San Jose. So everything that's going to come up to a total is $1,345. So let's take a look at that. So you got the $1,125 for the videographers. You have the $187.50 for the custom background. You have the $532.50. So the total should be invoice for $1,345 even. Okay, $1,345 even. So in this case, we didn't actually charge her tax on the custom background, right? So therefore, right, it should give you a total of that $1,345 even. And that's for billing her for everything. And that also included that $500 customer payment that went for the project. So that is how you go ahead and bill for the marketing project, right? Which included all the bills and all the expenses, and I'm passing it along to Miss Veronica Vasquez. Okay? And once I am done, I can click Save and Close. Make sure the date that we're billing her, oh, we got to change the date that we're billing her, is going to be the 15th of March. Okay? Invoice number, if there's an invoice number, you can put that there, San Jose. So once again, there you go. Once everything looks good, I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Close. And that concludes the whole situation on creating a project and how you're able to create everything in the project. So whether it's a bill, an invoice, an estimate, a purchase order, you can do it all in one section. Okay, and then once you complete everything else, you could just go ahead and invoice for everything at the end, right? And using that drawer, you can add in and tack in all the different bills that are associated to that person. All right. You can also include time, but in this case, let's go ahead and take a look at entering in time. Now, for this situation, right, for instance, if the owner decides to put in their time sheet for the retouching services, because remember, we charged retouching services, the owner's responsible to go ahead and do that. If for any reason that they want to report that and bill Miss Vasquez for that, they can do so. But we can also use this as a means to also utilize it in terms of paying your employees. But in this case, we're going to focus on entering time in for a project. Okay, so let's say the book says that Ernest wanted to know if he decided to bill Ms. Vasquez for his time for completing the retouching services, how much would he charge his customer, right? So let's go ahead and take a look. So what you're going to do here is up at the top of the project center, the home page, right? You have hourly cost rates. If I go ahead and click on that, what's going to happen here is I already have my owner's information in here, right? Ernest Withers, okay? And we're going to go ahead and add a cost rate, okay? And here is called the cost calculator. So therefore, we're going to designate what those cost rates are. So in this case, the wage rate is $25. The employer taxes is $1.91. Okay, workers' comp is 75 cents. So again, wage is $25. Employer taxes is $1.91. Okay, so again, additional employer taxes is going to be $1.91. Workers' comp is 75 cents. And then overtime or overhead, overhead is going to be $1. Okay, so that means hourly cost is going to be $30.57. Okay, say $30.57, and I'm going to go ahead and click add. Okay, so then now that we have him in the system, right, we're going to go ahead and click done. Okay, all right, are you sure the employee cost rates edits were not saved? I'm going to go ahead and click cancel, so I got to save this. Okay, so save. So there you go, I have the employer rates in there, so now I can go ahead and click done. So if I were to go back to that, it should tell me that it should be $30.57, so I'm going to click done. All right, so then now let's go ahead and fill in a timesheet. So for the timesheet entry number 1, we're going to go ahead and say we're going to add a work details here. So we're going to go ahead and enter in the time for Ernest Weathers. So how do you do that? You can go to the marketing photos and enter in time. Okay, so he's just quoting. So I'm going to go and enter in here. And then right here, I should be able to enter in time. Right here, time. Okay, so once again, who worked the job? The person who worked the job is going to be Ernest Withers. Okay, so we got 2 Ernest Withers profile here. Okay, so it's going to be for Ernest Withers. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and put his time in for those specific dates. So again, you can go back in time. So in this case, for February 28th, okay, details is he worked 3 hours for the project, okay, for the indoor photo session, okay, and he did headshots and stills. Okay, so first off, I'm going to go ahead and click on the time sheet. So what is the week? We're going to do a custom date. So again, it's going to be for February 28th, which is a Monday. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and enter in on a Monday, the 28th. We're going to go ahead and add in a work details. Okay, so this is where we're going to add in how much was the pay here, or how many hours he completed. So 3 hours For the marketing photos, indoor photo session. So again, 3 hours. Okay. For the customer project, once again, it's going to be the marketing, let's see, for Veronica Vasquez. Okay. Marketing. Okay. And then we said for what service, it's going to be for the indoor photo session. So indoor photo session, indoor session. Okay. Class, once again, is going to be for the store. Notes, any notes, we're going to go ahead and say this is for headshots and stills. Okay, and it says right here, do I want to bill Miss Veronica? So if you choose to bill Veronica, you would select yes, I'm going to make it billable, and it's going to tell you that it's going to charge the Veronica. Okay, but in this case, I'm going to not bill her, right? We're just going to quote her, or we're going to quote how much. And I'm going to click done. Okay, so for Monday, we did 3 hours. And then the entry number 2 is going to be on the 1st. All right. And it's going to be for 2 hours for the retouching services. Okay. So on the 1st, or on the 2nd, excuse me. 2nd of, is it 2nd? Nope. The 1st of March, it says. I think that's a typo. It should be, yeah, the 1st of March. I was right. Okay, so the 1st of March, right here. And we're going to go ahead and enter in the time. 2 hours was completed for the customer project. Once again, it's going to be marketing Veronica Vasquez, marketing photos, service, retouching. Okay, class would be store. Notes, you can do retouching services for services for marketing photos. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and save. All right. So once you've done that, then you can go ahead and save the timesheets there, and that is save. Okay. And I'm going to click save. Okay, so there you go. So you have the entered time there, but because you didn't bill Veronica, it doesn't appear up here. Okay, so in this case, that is that there. So that concludes the end of chapter 9. Okay, what other things that you can do for chapter 9? Okay, since we talked about majority of the things here, right? Taking customer deposits, we've already done. Right, creating two-sided items, right? So in this case, that is it for this chapter here. So if you want create some projects or sorry, you want to do some reports, right? You can go ahead and do some time reports, but again, that's going to be more for chapter 13 when we actually have employees and we record their times. Okay, you can even do a report on job costing. So again, job costing reports to see what jobs you've completed and who you sent the bill along to. You can look at unbilled time reports, right? Or unbilled reports, unbillable expenses. So expenses that you've created that you haven't yet billed. So if you assign it to a person, you can see whether you billed them or not. You can look at time activity by employee details. So that's going to give you like an outline of all of the employees' activities. Okay. You can look at estimates versus actual. So every estimate that you make. So again, if you're creating a quote or an estimate for or a bill or a bid, for a customer, you can actually see and compare out of all of those estimates which one actually went through as someone accepting that project. Okay, so again, additional job costing features. Again, you can be able to do this in that section there and read this on your own. Okay. So now that we've gone through everything, we can go ahead and do the review questions for chapter 9. So here you go, review questions. All right, we're going to do the multiple choice. So once again, select the best answers for each of the following. Okay, so let's take a look at question number 1 here. All right, creating an invoice from an estimate. Okay, what does it do or how does it do it? Let's go ahead and take a look. A says it has no effect on the financial statements. Okay, now if you're creating an invoice from an estimate, it 100% affects the financials, right? We're not looking at what estimates do. This is the actual conversion of the estimate into an invoice. You're definitely going to be affecting your financials. Okay, eliminates the need to manually enter in the estimate details on the invoice. Yes, because like I did for that example, right? When we did the estimates and we created the invoice from it, what did it do? It pulled all the information from my estimate and generated my invoice. All I had to do was make sure the dates were in there correctly, the correct invoice number is there, the correct sales tax was charged. So there's only minor changes that you have to do, but it actually helped you save time instead of having to type in all that information in. Once again, it pulled the information directly from the estimate and created the invoice. So in this case, B seems to be the correct answer. Okay, can affect the P&L because creating an estimate itself affects the P&L, which is your profit and loss. So in this case, this statement is false because, once again, estimate, it's just a bid, it's just a request, it's just an offer, right? Has no effect on any type of transaction because the customer has yet to confirm whether that estimate is there. So in this case, this keyword here, it's in italicized because it's emphasizing what keyword is put in there. An estimate does not affect the profit and loss. So that's a false statement right there. And D says can take up several hours because some estimates are very complex. Some people might just ask for a simple wedding photo shoot. How much is it going to cost to just do one day for 3 hours of indoor photo sessions? An estimate is not complicated at all. So in this case, letter D is more opinion based because if you do have a complex estimate, yes, it does take time, but that doesn't have anything to do with converting it to an invoice, right? It doesn't take that much time to convert it to an invoice. Okay, so letter B is the correct answer here. Number 2, which statement is false? So we're looking at the false statement here. Okay, so not true. Okay, so let's look at the answers here. So letter B says progress invoicing allows you to charge your customers a portion of the total estimate for each stage of the job. That is 100% true. Okay? Letter B says QuickBooks Online, okay, can track how much how much of the estimate has been invoiced. Okay, and of course it also and how much remaining to be invoiced. Yes, right, just like what we did for the example, right? We did the first progress invoicing, we did the first portion of the 50%, and then of course, when we did the remaining 50%, it tallied up whatever was left for the invoice. So there is a special spot that you can take a look at when you go to your estimates, where you can see whether an estimate or a purchase order or something has been closed out, right? So if an estimate has yet to be closed out, you can go manually close it out if that estimate is not something that is there anymore. So there is a way that you can do that. Again, you read your book to find out how to do that. But yes, it does keep track of whether that is opened or not. Okay? And then letter C says progress invoicing can create an invoice for the entire estimate, but only after the estimate is closed. So in this case, no, an estimate has to be open for you to be able to invoice for the entire amount. Okay, if it's closed, that means the estimate is no longer available. Okay, so in this case, that is definitely false. So number 2 is letter C, right? That is a false statement. Okay, number 3, right? Okay, if you do not have enough stock on hand for all orders, you can create a purchase order from an estimate, okay, using QuickBooks Online Plus or Advanced, okay. B says send the customer an order delay receipt. There's no such thing as a customer delay receipt. Okay, so B is obviously not the right answer. Letter C says replace the order with another item that the customer did not ask for. Why would you give your customers stuff that they don't want? So in this case, C is definitely not the correct answer or the best way to go around that, right? But I mean, yes, you can offer your customers that kind of stuff, but again, what are the chances that a customer is going to want something that they didn't ask for? And then D says both B and C. And obviously, if those two if B is obviously inaccurate, then your correct answer here is A, right? You're going to create the purchase order from the estimate. Okay. Number 4. Okay. Number 4, in QuickBooks, okay, in QuickBooks Online, you are allowed to pass through the billable expenses to customers. Okay, so it's basically asking you, right, if you do what? So let's see, number 4, if you only if you pay by credit card. No. You could not pay the bill and still send that bill along to your customer. So in this case, that answer is not correct. Okay. B says, right, if you used a bill, check, or expense, and you assign the customer or project to the expense, right? That seems like the correct answer here. And then number 4 says, if you use a bill, check, or expense and assign the customer or project and mark the expense as billable. Okay, so that one's actually more accurate, right? B is kind of half the answer. right? In this case, C confirms it because you are going to make sure that you check that you're going to pass that bill along, right? Where B, if you don't check mark that pass and make it billable, right? You're going to record the expense, but you're not going to bill the customer, right? So in this case, the more correct answer, because it says select the best answer, right? C would be the best answer here because you need to ensure that if you're going to pass that bill along to your customer and have them pay for it, you need to make sure that that check mark is checked as billable. Okay. Number 5, okay? If an invoice, okay, that you can automatically add markups to pass through expenses, okay, this income appears in, right, where does it go? All right, A, the sales income of profit and loss report, right? B, the markup income on a profit and loss report. So that seems right because, again, you're charging extra on top of your sales. That's not your regular sales price, right? You're marking it up. So in this case, B seems to be the most accurate answer, right? Because that's why we had to create that markup, other income, which was the markup percentage, right? All right. So let's go ahead again. It's not a cost of goods sold because once again, that is a expense, right? You're generating extra money. So in this case, you need to have an income account. And cost of goods sold is an expense account. And of course, none of the above is none of the correct answers. So for sure, it's going to be the markup income account. All right, number 6. Number 6 says two-sided items can be used for, okay, A says for reimbursable expenses. B says custom orders, okay, parts, and then C for subcontracted labor. So in this case, yes, you could do it all, right? We did use the in this case, we did a custom order, right? We did the custom background, right? And we end up billing the customer for that, right? And then, of course, we also did a subcontracted labor, right? Where we had to call in a third-party vendor, which is Gandhi Videos, right? To be able to film the commercial for Miss Veronica Vasquez. And because we received the bill from Gandhi, we went ahead and passed that bill along to Ms. Vasquez. So in this case, there you go. 2 out of the 3 were used, and again, reimbursable expenses. So again, if you charge for driving for mileage, that could be something that's considered a reimbursable expense. Okay, so again, D, all of the above is correct. Number 7, okay, 2C, a detailed listing of all of the billable expenses that you have not passed through 2 invoices. Okay, how do you see that? I literally just talked about this about maybe 5 minutes ago. You're going to create an unbillable charges report. Okay, so that's what that one is. Unbillable time is going to be the time, right, for time that you have not yet passed through. So again, that's for when you keep track of all your employees and they report the timesheets to you and you didn't bill them. That will be the unbillable time. But in this case, this is for the billable expenses. Okay, so again, you're going to do A, the billable charges report. Okay. Number 8, okay, the mileage center, okay, allows you to, okay, so let's take a look here. A, track vehicle mileage and run reports to assist with tax preparation. Okay, that makes the most sense. B says to reimburse your employees for mileage on their paychecks. Okay? So in this case, the mileage center wouldn't keep track of reimbursing your employees, right? But it would definitely track how many miles you used on your vehicle, right? And then C says pass through the mileage to customers' invoices. No, once again, it doesn't keep track of whether you pass them along, right? That would be billable charges once again. All of the above, which is not true. So in this case, A, it keeps track of the mileage that you drove, okay? Number 9, okay, the hourly cost rate calculator, what does it do? Okay. Number 9, it calculates it calculates flows through to payroll. Okay. B says calculates the full burdened labor cost. Okay, because it did include workers' compensation and it did include employer federal taxes. So, okay, that seems to be correct. C, it allows you to view time reports by employee or service. Yes. Right? It allows you to see once again what the employee did, right? And what services they completed. Yes, because we had to enter in the actual labor. And then D says both B and C. So it seems like D is the correct answer, right? Because it does calculate the full burden taxes. So again, it included it included the employer taxes and included workers' compensation. And again, it did allow you to also see the activity that you completed for that day. Okay. And last question for the chapters. Is going to be question number 10. Price rules can set to adjust by. Okay. So again, is it by percentage, by fixed amounts, or by customer price per item, or all of the above? In this case, right, we did go over customer prices, price rules. I believe where did we see price rules? I believe you set those price rules in chapter 3. We talked about what price rules does, right? Price rules is where you have your customers, and certain customers are targeted certain different price points, right? So you can upcharge your customer based on a percentage. You could do it on a fixed amount, or you can actually create custom prices per item, right? So that's what price rules does, is when you are charging a customer a specific price fee or something like that because they belong to a particular group of customers, that's what a price rule does. So again, you could do it for all 3 of the options. So in this case, yes, D is the correct answer, all of the above. So remember, we charged our customers because they decided to do a project for us. We marked them up 50%, right? We didn't, and then for one of the examples, right, even though we were supposed to be billed $75 per videographer, they upcharged us $125. So we upcharged our customer, right? That was based on per item there, right? That was upcharged. So we end up upcharging for that 50% markup. So there you go. And that concludes chapter 9, estimates and projects.